It's that time. You got me, Hef, here with your play-by-play from the gorgeous SM Threat Intelligence Center. We've got Noah here, our expert Florida man. Where you been, man? Have you been in Florida?
I have. I've been all over, wrangling gators, riding on airboats, hitting the beach.
Man, have you ever done the Florida man thing where you put in your birthday and yeah? I love cool. That, man. Anyway, Noah's here. He's back, man. We missed you, buddy. I got to tell you, we got some good top stories, though, man. I think the audience is going to love this episode. Noah, is TikTok bad for your health?
Mentally, cyber, yeah, probably all the above.
Man, we got to talk about that. T-Mobile class action lawsuit. We finally got a settlement. You guys are not going to believe how much the settlement is. The numbers will shock you. Uber, a breach cover-up? What? Yep. Oh, my goodness. And hackers are bypassing air gaps. How are they doing that? And we've got to talk about Discord and Telegram hijacking, all that and more here on the SM News. But first, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications when we upload a new episode. Definitely hit the like button. And we love commentary. If you've got comments, you want to leave us notes in the chat, we'd love that as well. We are SecurityMetrics. We are here to help you see the threats you've been missing and help you take that intelligent approach to cybersecurity, get you that peace of mind that you may be after for your business, and hold yourself to a higher standard.
And never have a false sense of security.
We're going to kick it off, Noah, with gaslighting. And I mean, I was so fired up, dude. I was like angry. I was Hulk mad, kind of angry.
You got the green.
Dude, I was so upset, man. The news has, and this is the thing, man, when we do these like presentations, we do these briefings on the web, man. It's a chance to kind of just let go a little bit, So that's what we're going to do right now. The first story we got to talk about is a little pop quiz, Noah. Pop quiz. Is TikTok bad for your health?
Oh, 100%.
It is?
Yeah.
It is? I mean, I got so many friends that love TikTok, man. Okay, Karen. Okay, Boomer. Why is it bad for your health?
So I am a fan of TikTok. I'll say that, but it's definitely engineered to be addictive. I think you were telling me about dark UX. What was that term you said earlier
dark
today?
Patterns.
Dark patterns.
We'll talk about that in just a minute. So TikTok's engaging in excessive data collection.
Yep.
We had broken this story locally with our team about how dangerous the TikTok data collection is, but then Joe Rogan does this podcast where he talked about it like yesterday. He actually read the entire terms and conditions of the entire TikTok thing, and it said basically, we own you and we own every little keystroke that you do with the app. But there was a white paper that came out, and the white paper said, hey, TikTok is excessive, and a lot of the stuff that it's collecting, a lot of the data that it's collecting is not necessary, that TikTok can actually run without any of this data being collected, being gathered.
Yeah.
So what data is it actually gathering?
So it looks like it's harvesting your device mapping, hourly monitoring of your device, persistent calendar access, which just seems really odd, requests to access your contacts and device information, all things that TikTok is then able to kind of package up and resell to advertisers to get targeted ads for you that make them money.
Collecting keystroke data, like anything you type is going to be collected, is ridiculous. The device mapping part really bothers me. The hourly monitoring of your device really bothers me. I don't know if the calendar access, it's bothersome.
It's just really weird. I feel like most TikTok users probably don't even use the calendar on their device like a kid, but super weird.
Which gets us into this great meme here, folks. How do you use TikTok? The best way is to locate the app. If you press and hold the icon and you tap the little cross, and then all you have to do is hit delete. That's the best way to use it. But you know what? Honestly, Noah, there's people that love TikTok, and I'm not going to knock them for using it. My wife loves it. Oh my gosh, I can't get her off of it. But I got to tell you, man, if you are going to use TikTok, how do you use it safely? Is there a way to even do that?
Probably the best thing that you can do is going to the settings on your phone and disabling all the permissions for TikTok. Now, it's going to be really annoying because every time you open up TikTok from then point forward, it's going to say, can I use your location?
Please.
Can I connect to your contacts?
Please, sir.
Can I do all this? And
Please,
you just
sir.
have to click no.
Please,
and then
sir.
you can get into the app.
Yeah.
But that's probably the best thing that you can do.
There's a great point, though, talking about this, though, is deceptive design. And that's where I really wanted to spend a moment. In a future episode, we are going to do some evergreen content, some topics about deceptive design and how a lot of these companies are tricking you into basically accessing their website or their app and making you do things that you didn't mean to do, like buying things, signing up for things, giving permission to, and really just spreading the awareness is really the goal of our video, our upcoming video on deceptive design. There's actually an entire website devoted to these things called dark patterns. And I mean, really, Noah, though, there is such a psychology behind buying things on the web and the way things are designed to trick you that we really do need to cover it because it's dangerous out there if you're not even aware of it.
Yeah, it's kind of, in a way, it's phishing, you know?
It is. There's a hall of shame out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a future episode. Something to look forward to, folks. Definitely keep your watch here on the channel. So Noah, there's a couple stories going on and stuff that fires me up, and one thing that really just, man, Hulk Hef mad, man. Hulk Hef mad. $350 million settlement for just one of the T-Mobile breaches. And you keep in mind, folks, I think we had talked, there's been like 6 or 7 breaches of T-Mobile. This is just one settlement, $350 million from their August 2021 breach. What's fascinating, though, is some of the stuff that's going to happen out of this. How much, Noah, do you think you should get from this class action lawsuit?
A ton of money. You know, it leaked personal data that went up and became public.
Driver's license, social security number.
Yeah, it's super bad. I think you should at least get like credit monitoring and a pretty sizable reward.
1 year credit monitoring? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know how much they're paying for just one breach?
Not even enough for 1 gallon of gas.
No, not even a gallon of
Yeah.
gas. Man, that's a good point. $4, folks. Put that, $4 is all you're going to get from just this one T-Mobile breach. Unbelievable. They're getting a slap on the wrist.
And what can $4 even get you?
Nothing, Noah. Nothing, man.
Man.
Dude, and then on top of all that, T-Mobile says, well, and we're going to spend $150 million on fortifying our data security. But folks, the catch is they're not going to spend that money till next year, till 2023. So not only are they only paying $4 per person, but then they don't have to spend any of that money for repairing and fixing and fortifying their defenses till next year. It seems like such a slap on the wrist. No admission of liability, by the way. No admission of wrongdoing. No responsibility by any of the defendants in this settlement. Unbelievable that this can happen. All right. Another thing that's going on is the Uber thing, the cover-up. Have you heard about this?
I have, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Man, Uber, I'm going to try my best to explain this story, but what happened with Uber was they got breached back in 2016, 57 million user user records. Whoa, that's just a heart attack-inducing number. 600,000 driver's licenses. So all their employees,
that's like every Uber driver,
every Uber driver, and these two people accessed their third-party cloud service back in 2016, and you know what they got access to? Because we were just talking about this today.
S3. So this is kind of an interesting attack in that, and this is kind of became a common thing, but then AWS implemented some kind of like controls to try and prevent this from happening in the future.
A lot of default security features.
But some developers, they put their code on GitHub, and the code that they wrote had their access keys for AWS.
Yeah.
So some researchers found this code, they took the access keys out, and they used it to access the S3 buckets in AWS, which is just storage in the cloud. And it had these driver's licenses, all this data, and oh man,
but where did the cover-up happen?
Mess.
Where did the cover-up happen? Because this is where the story got interesting. How the hackers got away with it, essentially, is what?
So I guess the HackerOne bug bounty program was involved.
Yep.
And they kind of got these two researchers that found it got paid through HackerOne.
Right. Instead of saying, "Oh, we've been breached," they said they cover it up and said, "Oh, we're just going to call it a bug bounty," and these guys found it. We'll just pay them $100,000 through the bug bounty program, versus actually saying, "No, we got to disclose to the shareholders and the FTC and all the other people that we've been hacked." That's where it gets dangerous. Classifying your breach as a bug bounty versus actually classifying it as a real breach.
Yeah, that's just kind of really irresponsible, and a couple people lost their jobs at Uber over this, and that was definitely kind of justified.
Yeah, their CISO lost his job. He actually was charged back in 2020 over this. Where the part of the story got interesting for me too as well, the FTC settled with Uber and said, you have to maintain a comprehensive privacy program for 20 years. And it's like, dude, you should already had that in place. There's no reason why that should be listed as part of this lawsuit. It should have already been there, and it wasn't. So that's the kind of stuff, plus the mandatory reporting now that comes as part of this breach. But really got me upset, man, hearing how this was handled. And man, the cover, you can't do that, folks. Lesson learned. If you have a breach, you need to be open, honest, candid with your customers and with your shareholders. You can't do that. You can't cover things up. No, this headline, all right. You had sent this headline over to me, man, and I'm like, what? Man. Satan turns on hard drive cable into antenna to defeat the air gap security? I mean, what is going on?
Yeah, so it could seem like him, doing it, but this is an exploit that was discovered by some security researchers where they were able to put code onto a computer that uses a SATA cable plugged into the motherboard as an antenna.
Okay.
So the kind of proof of concept of this is like, say you're controlling nuclear reactors with these computers and you have them air gapped, which means they're not connected to the internet. It's a good way to prevent attackers from getting in.
It's a good cyber hygiene tactic.
Yeah.
The air gap, segmentation. Have you ever heard that term, segmentation?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good maneuver to make.
These researchers were able to connect to an air-gapped system, a system not connected to the internet, by using the SATA cable inside the PC case as an antenna.
What?
So SATA can go up to like 6 gigabits per second or something like that.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're able to transfer at around 6 gigahertz.
So they're transmitting data on the SATA line, on the SATA cable.
And it's super slow. There's like a proof of concept video. This isn't something that the average person or even the average cyber practitioner needs to worry about.
So it's a very complicated exploit.
Yeah, but it is very cool. Like, whoa.
And that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But they named it Satan, which I thought was cool because it's a play on the words of SATA and the letter N, Satan type of attack.
Yeah.
So interesting exploit, man. Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, super just interesting.
Good lessons learned there, again, from a perspective of your basic cyber hygiene, air gap, segmentation. I always say security through obscurity too. Don't name your networks. Don't name your networks, folks. Use colors if you can. Stuff that throws off the bad guy from getting in your world. So a couple other stories to go on to. I want to share some statistics. And we don't usually do this in our thing because, they're just numbers and you just throw out numbers left and right. But there's some interesting stats out there that came out. Here we are getting ready to go to Black Hat. We got DEF CON coming up. We hope to see you guys there. Let us know if you're coming. Message us. We'll definitely have a cup of coffee with you or hang out with you and talk to you. But one of the numbers that threw me out was this 70% of small businesses fail to prioritize cybersecurity. Is that number shocking to you or no?
No, I'd actually think it'd be much higher.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that it should probably be around 80 to 90%.
Oh, I'd even say 99%, honestly.
Well, let's be generous here. It's tough though, man. It's tough for small businesses to have not only an IT person, but then they have somebody with that cyber knowledge stacked on top. And that's what we do good at here at SecurityMetrics. We help you small businesses stay above that security poverty line, not go broke going down that road, man. But there's some stats out there that I thought was interesting. This report came out and said, hey, hospitality, wholesale, and retail industries are burying their heads in the sand. That's the exact quote they used. When it comes to cybersecurity, it's real hard for them. They're leaving themselves exposed. 34% of the people in this survey consider security a top 3 budget concern, budget priority to invest in. They also said that, and this is not shocking, Noah, right? Large businesses, they're spending more money on cyber. That bottom line.
Which is good.
Yeah, we kind of knew that, right? But I did find fascinating, they threw out a number and they said that the average cost of a breach is estimated to be around
$4.24 million. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. I've heard numbers a lot lower than that. I've heard that for a small business, it's typically around the 200,000 mark, 230, something like that. But I mean, you think about that. If you're being ransomware and you're a small business and you get hit with just one, hey, we need you to pay 1 Bitcoin ransom, All right, you're already in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's a huge deal, and the stats are fascinating. I also thought it was interesting, Noah, in this report that they found that accounting firms, 25% of them place cybersecurity in their top 3 investments, which is cool.
That's great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. But the flip side is they face a 300% increase in attacks, folks. So, I mean, it's like you got to spend some money on that if you're getting a 300% increase in attacks.
And if you're a small CPA firm, like, we'd love to connect you with our sales because we can secure those kind of small businesses perfectly.
Yeah, there's a report that comes out every year that I love. It's from a company called Tessian, and they look at security culture. And, we always like to talk about security awareness and what it's like in your environment. When you talk about security training and teaching people how to do cybersecurity, they said that 45% in this report, 45% of folks don't know how to report security incidents, which I think is fascinating. They also said in this report, 30% of the folks did not feel like they had a role in helping cybersecurity at all. And 64%, shocking, 64% don't pay attention in the training. Have you ever had that, Noah? Have you ever tuned out? This is the same cybersecurity training we had last year, man.
Yep. Of those 85% that did the security training, it says your 64% didn't pay full attention.
No, get out of here. I don't believe it, right? But yeah, folks, this is a great report. It's from Tessian. You can go online and Google TESSIAN and download Security Cultures Report, which is real cool. The last stat I want to throw out at you is this one. 70% of businesses feel like they are wasting a majority of their cybersecurity budget.
I think it makes sense because it's hard to justify something that's working. If you're spending a lot of money on your cybersecurity, but you're not getting breached, you might start to think like, oh, maybe I'm spending too much, but I'd wager that you're probably not.
Yeah, you're probably not.
Yeah.
And that's what's hard to justify. This report, by the way, this statistic came out of England. 70% of organizations feel like they're wasting money on cyber. And, you talk about justifying the ROI, justifying the ROE, return on expectations, return on your investment. It's really critical that you find a partner, a vendor that will give you those statistics, give you those metrics on how well they are helping you or not. And again, it's SecurityMetrics. That's what we do here. We give you those kind of metrics. I did find interesting, though, 25% of businesses feel as though insider threats are their biggest threat. And
yeah, that's interesting.
It's interesting. It's a lot higher than what I expected. And they also feel like insider threats are increased or have increased 47% over the last 2 years. So
I'd say that kind of makes sense because when you're measuring insider threats, usually you count employees that have gone rogue, but you also count employees that accidentally click on a phishing link.
Or fat-fingered a setting, left the port open, that kind of stuff.
Yep, exactly.
Which we see a lot of with our customers, and that's what we notify them on. So good stats, good stuff. Again, I don't want to focus on the numbers too much, folks. It's all numbers, right? They change over time, but it's interesting data points if you're curious. Now, I did find, speaking of wasting money, Noah, let's talk about wasting money on your cyber budget. The UK heat wave that happened last week, man, all the outages. I just kept like, I gotta know what's gonna close next. Google data center shuts down. Oracle has cloud outages. It just didn't stop.
Yeah, so these UK-based cloud service provider data centers went out because of this record-breaking, sweltering 104-degree Fahrenheit, which if you're from Utah, Arizona kind of area, it's that's hot, but that's not too hot.
What I don't understand, Noah, is when we talk about infrastructure and we talk about setting things up, you plan for the worst. You plan for floods.
Exactly.
You plan for fires. You plan for things to fail, and they didn't do that.
No, their cooling systems failed, and it took these data centers offline.
Wild. I just can't believe this happens in this day and age that you're seeing stuff like that. Unbelievable. There's a couple Play apps, Google Play Store apps that I want you to be aware of, folks. If you have these apps on your phone, delete. All right? We're going to put a screenshot up here right now on the screen. You're going to see what they look like. Smart SMS Messengers is one of the apps. You see it's a green icon. Hey, does that icon look familiar to you, Noah?
Man, all these icons kind of look like the stuff that's built in to Android. It's almost like
an Android
a
app.
dark pattern like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It's like to trick you into thinking this is the legit texting app.
I think that people look at this SMS icon and see the green and the white and go, man, that looks like a Google icon.
Yeah, or this translator one too.
Yeah. Dangerous stuff, folks. If you got these 4 apps, the blood pressure monitor, the quick text SMS, please delete them. They are distributing malware. It's not just that stuff, though. What I want to talk a minute about is these face stealer malware and copper malware. I can never pronounce it. These are dangerous things that are, I call them overlays, where you think you are logging into the Facebook app, but the reality is you're not. What's happening here, Noah?
Yeah, so it looks just like Facebook. You think you're logging into Facebook, but really the bad guys have set up their own kind of fake login page that steals your credentials, or it steals kind of other things like the auth token to get into your account. Really,
the goal here is they really function as fake banking Trojans, and that's what they're doing. So again, we'll put up an image of that on the screen. Hopefully you guys can see that and see what you're looking for. Another thing that's going on too is this kind of phishing email. Here's a great example. Be extra vigilant. We'll put up an example of this phishing email. This one looks like it comes from Twitter, and what it says is, hey, we noticed a login to your account at this device, at this location in Moscow, Russia. Was this you? Click here. And that is dangerous, right? Because you weren't in Moscow, Russia, and you didn't log in.
I have been getting a ton of these. So I've never used PayPal, but on my personal email, I get maybe 2 or 3 emails a day that are, your PayPal account was logged into in like Africa, and the fonts are all off. They don't look nearly as good as this, but I've definitely experienced these fake login attempts. And then you click on the link and it brings you to a PayPal login where they want to steal your data.
Oh, nuts. Please share this with your folks. Security awareness training starts right here in this podcast, in this newscast. Please share this with your team. Very dangerous stuff. Also, I know a lot of people care about the healthcare security guidance that's being out there, like HIPAA. NIST is updating that guidance. They're updating it because of the EPHI security rule. There's some guidelines. They're asking for comments, and they're coming out of this with a draft of some changes that you probably need to be aware of. So we'll include the link to this. The last couple things here, we're going to wrap it up with the data breach stories. There's a couple data breaches out there. Entrust is in the news right now. We don't have a lot of context behind that, so we're not going to talk about that particular breach, but we are going to talk about Lockbit ransomware gang. And the reason why is, Noah, they went after the Italian Revenue Agency. What I find fascinating about Lockbit is the speed at which they are innovating and the novelties in their ransomware 3.0. One of the things that they have is a bug bounty program.
Yeah.
Right? How often do you hear about ransomware gangs having their own bug bounty program? All right. I think that's fascinating.
Not often. Yeah.
As far as I understand it, they are the first ransomware company to ever accept bug submissions on their malware to try to improve it. Right. I mean, wow, fascinating stuff. Another interesting innovation is they accept things like Zcash and Monero and Bitcoin, all types of payments, however you want to pay your ransom. And then, Noah, they're also doing new extortion tactics. And I thought this was interesting, is that they allow threat actors to come in and buy the data that's been stolen from the victims of the attacks.
Oh, interesting.
So even though you pay your ransom, you may think you get your data back, but the reality is they just go and resell it. And that's what Lockbit is doing. So they're very active, folks. They've been around since about 2019, and they hit the Italian Revenue Agency. They got about 70 gigabytes. Whew.
That's so much.
Man, it is, right? Another news story is the Twitter account data of millions of people being stolen. This threat actor is calling himself the devil.
And they've got an anime profile picture, so you know they mean business.
Right?
You know?
This is an actual screenshot. Take a look at the screenshot here. 5.4 million users' data was stolen. And he basically disclosed the vulnerability. The devil disclosed the vulnerability on HackerOne's bug bounty program. But the database of Twitter users, 5.4 million, December of 2021 is when it happened. A lot of celebrities in this thing, a lot of companies. Just amazing stuff, man. But Twitter, man, you got some explaining to do, man. Discord is also in the news. Discord and Telegram, their services are being hijacked. This is our last story for the news here. What's the heck is going on here, man?
Yeah, so I guess these threat actors are using existing functionality and infrastructure of things like Discord and Telegram to host and launch and execute a variety of malware. And this is kind of interesting. You know, we've heard of Discord malware before, where threat actors are sending malware over Discord. And we've heard of command and control, where threat actors are using messaging services to remotely control machines. But this is just a little bit different.
Yeah, you know, using these info stealers, and I think it's interesting how and why they're going after platforms like Discord and Telegram. They basically can hide in plain view, right? I mean, that's a benefit of using Discord and Telegram. They can also, they also know that the people that use these applications, it's very difficult to block them. I mean, unless you're blocking API access, really challenging, folks, right? And then you have not really like a large team behind these platforms that are monitoring these channels, and they're not doing that. They're not looking for criminal misuse. So the threat actors love that kind of environment. It's kind of like, what do you call those bugs, man? The bugs that love being in the dark. This is the place for them, man, hanging out in these type of environments. So be aware, folks. Stay extra vigilant. If you're using Discord or Telegram, I mean, this is where the bad stuff is happening right now. Threat actors are going to these places. So that's our presentation. That's our briefing. I hope you had a good time. Leave some comments, man. We like hearing stuff in the news and talking about it. Again, we're SecurityMetrics. I'm Hef.
I'm Noah.
Thanks for watching.